There we go. Good afternoon, everyone. Technical difficulties. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels. And yes, we are going back to the JRC, but first, as usual, the disclaimers and the trigger warnings. If you're unfamiliar with the Stop the Shocks campaign or the campaign against the troubled teen industry, pertinent links are going to be right there in the description box. Please, in particular, take note, first of all, of Autistic Hoya's massive archive. We pretty much have all things Judge Rotenberg Educational Center in there, from court transcripts to video surveillance footage to ER documentation, even some examples of their bizarre behavioral contracts. So if you want to follow along or you want to go through all this amount of evidence, that's going to be your number one link. It's where we get the bulk of our information regards to the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center for this channel. We also have the article written by Neuroclastic linked inside there for you as well. It's the one where they surveyed over 800 ABA professionals in regards to the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center's so-called behavior modification program. It's also the one that the JRC got so salty about that they threatened to Neuroclastic with a defamation lawsuit if they did not remove that article off of Neuroclastic's website. They very obviously refused, folks, so please read the article and share it. As always, we do have the GoFundMe that some of us set up on the behalf of Neuroclastic in regards to that threat, in regards to the JRC, because unlike them, we do not have access to unlimited sums of money. If you can donate, I know they would definitely be appreciative of it. If you cannot, please go ahead and share it. I know they'd be grateful for that as well. Alright, trigger warnings. When we discuss places like the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center or Agape Boarding School for Boys, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of people with mental health issues and disabled people being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, please utilize the headphones. Also, this channel is marked not for kids for a reason. We do use profanity and speak on dark subjects. If your child's 16 and younger and they are watching this, parental supervision is very much advised. Now, bragging rights. And I'm going to brag about this all year because I'm well aware of the fact that our fight for disability rights with this current administration in power is very much very far from being over. We're also getting attacked in regards to Medicaid and Social Security. In particular, that is pertinent to folks like myself, supplemental security income. Now, I am no longer on that program or on Medicaid. I kind of used it as I canned up and eventually got to where full-time employment can cover my own insurance. You all know the drill. But there are many of us that actually do not only depend on it, but are literally life and death, folks. Life and death. And those cuts are looking scary. So, our work is far from over. But this administration really needs to learn that you cannot, under any circumstances, underestimate the power behind the neurodivergent movement. Now, I don't mean conspiracy theory-wise, so please spare me. What I mean by that is in desperate situations, like what we had in regards to the autism registry, we will join hands even with our worst enemies and work together for the protection of neurodivergent folks. We are very good at networking, not just with one another, but with other disability rights organizations such as People First, the International Disability Rights Organizations, places like ARC, and yes, even places like Autism Speaks when it's an emergency situation. We are not a group of people to be underestimated. And a lot of times, especially dealing not with Republicans, but with MAGA Republicans, there is a massive distinction. I have worked with Republicans out in this state for years. Years. Okay? Long time. Things started going downhill in the mid-2000s when they started getting with the Tea Party. Now, if any of you think that the Tea Party and MAGA are unrelated, I'm going to need you to go back and watch that clip where, God rest his soul, Senator McCain had to deal with a woman that was, claiming Obama. You all remember that, right? There was always that kind of Republican about. It's just back then, the Republicans that were in power did not allow those folks any real amount of power. Yeah, when I say we are at our worst when extremists have control from either side, what we're seeing right now, Exhibit A, all right? So, things are dangerous, yes. But when duty calls, we will put aside our own grievances with one another, lock arms with each other, and become an impenetrable wall when the situation calls for it. So I wanted to take a moment before we got started to celebrate that win. All right? Now, there's still a lot of different areas, but I tell you guys, the disability rights movements are getting hit from every angle, and it's not just us, it's also the providers, it's also our state's Department for Mental Health. Yeah, we won. Wonderful. Now we get back to work, all right? Okay, so we're going back to where we left off in this never-ending 55-page comment, which is essentially JRC simply copying and pasting, and I really wish they would have spared us that, because we're essentially reading over the exact same comments that they did last time, right before the final rule, and their never-ending protesting document that came after that. So just be prepared for the never-ending stupid. That is the hallmark of the JRC. Please send help. I accept donations of kava tea in bulk. I can wish, right? Alright, comment 10. Parties are entitled to a hearing under the accepted principles of procedural due process. Here we go again with the JRC, constantly thinking that this is like a court case, like in the Massachusetts courts, where they essentially get away with whatever the hell they want. So let me say it again. JRC, are you aware of the fact that this is not a normal court case? It is specifically in regards to your device. If this was us suing you, I promise you, you would know. This is a completely different animal. This idea, but cross-examination. What are you gonna do? Get a strap the GED device maybe to like a log and set it on a witness stand to see if it can be cross-examined? Or are you going to be monstrous, evil sons of bitches that force one of your poor students with visibly the device on them while they're doing so with the person holding the remote control likely in the lobby and do cross-examination that way? Because it doesn't make sense. This isn't a lawsuit. This is to determine risks versus benefits in regards to a device. Good God. I can't deal sometimes, folks. I really sometimes just can't deal. Let's read. The proposed ban, for which the FDA has not provided an evidentiary hearing, also violates the party's constitutional procedural due process rights. First off, JRC, are you aware of the fact that between the years of 2014 all the way to 2016, when they finalized the proposed ban, and then from 16 all the way to 2019, that they already had that evidentiary hearing? That fact, within that span of time, almost a decade, both sides were able to come and present their cases. Comments were even open to the public. Nearly a decade. Would you like to explain to the class why the hell you feel the need to have everything be done again? The facts are not going to magically change. You're going to drag everyone through the exact same process, going over the exact same information. You have no new evidence to provide for us in regards to this ban. Why the hell do you think that everything needs to be redone again? Who the hell has time for that? They are a federal department. The GED device is just one of the many of items that these folks deal with on a day-to-day basis. And as the fact that they are a federal department, I'm going to guess that their caseloads are probably as sky high as most places' departments for mental health these days. Why would you feel the need to run through everything again? If you have anything new to present, if you have new data, new cold, hard evidence to present, now's the fucking time. If you do not have those things, then there is no need to do another evidentiary hearing where we go over all the same information, have all the same people come back and retestify, and to do all of it again. There's no reason to do so. Everything that's been aired out is in transcripts. If you need to refresh your memory, I actually have those PDFs. If you don't want to use my description box, go to Autistic Hoya's massive archive. I promise you, they are all there. What do you mean procedural due process rights? We've already already been over this. It's been, at this point, over a decade. If you have nothing new to present, there should not be any reason why there needs to be a new hearing. What that looks like to someone like me, JRC, and remember, I've worked in this field, this looks like a play for more time. It's delay, delay, delay. And because I know you have no real way or ability to provide new information, new data, or new evidence, if you're trying to buy time, I'm going to say allegedly, you're trying to find someone to corrupt and overturn it. Because it's the only thing that makes sense. You have no new information, no new data, no new evidence. You've got nothing but what you've already presented. That means having a whole nother hearing makes no coherent sense. I don't know if you looked around the world lately, but everything's kind of going to hell in a handbasket right now, and nobody, especially not a federal department, has the time to humor you and go through all of this crap again when it's already been gone over and it's already available for everyone that wants to look in PDF form. Okay? You were given due process the first time around. There is no point to go over all the same crap again. Okay? Sorry, it just... Alright. I'll tell you what, I'm going to take a look at this paragraph here. Yeah, we'll go ahead and split it. We'll go ahead and read on a little bit. Where government action seriously injures the individual and reasonableness of the action depends on fact-finding, the protections afforded by due process of law entitles the individual to a fair opportunity to show that the governmental action is unwarranted. You've already had that time. These proceedings started in 2014. You had from 2014 to 2019 to present your case, just as we did. You were given a fair amount of time. You presented your case in an evidentiary hearing, just the same as we did. To try and sit there and act like this is not fairs is bullshit. Okay? And if you want to talk about fact findings, the facts are on our side, JRC. But you ignore our evidence because your evidence isn't evidence. I don't know what the hell it's supposed to be, but it's definitely not evidence. It looks like something thrown together haphazardly from someone suffering from withdrawals from smoking crack. Not that I'm going to be detrimental to those who are getting well from drug addictions, considering I was an alcoholic for years. It's difficult to stop. But at the same point, you can't just say it's not fair. You're not giving our evidence the same weight as the other side when you don't have any evidence. You have ranting. You have your own biased observations. You have outdated clinical studies that have nothing to do with the device at hand. You have ad hominem attacks, victim blaming, character assassination, and just bad pseudoscience. You have nothing new to present. So why do we need to do the same thing over and over and over again? Because the facts are, the FDA did not need to humor you this time. They have been given full authority by Congress to follow through with the ban. They are allowing comments again as a courtesy. Nothing more. It would make no sense to drag everyone through all the same crap again. And you know what? Not making everyone go through the same crap again is because all the information's right there. It's a waste of everyone's time. It's a waste of taxpayer money. And considering what's going on in the world right now, wasting taxpayer money is not a really good idea. Good God, get your heads out of your never-ending victim complex and take a look at the world around you. Good God. Let me continue. You have no new facts. The facts at hand have already been debated into infinity. Your so-called evidence does not hold up to ours. You have failed to make your case. Deal with it. Go see a shrink if you need to. God. Alright, we're going to read a couple more sentences here. Consequently, when government agencies educate or make binding determinations which directly affect the legal rights of individuals, it is imperative that those agencies use the procedures which have traditionally been associated with the judicial process. They have already done so. We have already done this. You've had your chance. You failed. Because there is no way to actually defend what you all do in that place. There isn't. Nobody could defend it. You can bring forth some of the most brilliant ancient orators. We can bring St. Augustine in from the Dark Ages. We could go back and bring Cicero in here. Give them all of your information, and even they could not make those arguments stick. That's the point. Okay? There is no need to drag everyone through the same thing over and over and over again. Number 2, legal rights of the individuals. The parents have rights. We have rights. The students also have rights. They have rights to humane, medical, and mental health care. They have the right to have an advocate come in to advocate for them and protect them from you. And yes, even their parents, when what you're trying to do presents an unusual and extreme risk to their physical and mental well-being. Just because they're minors doesn't mean that they don't have rights too. It seems to me, JRC, that you, as well as your cohorts in the troubled teen industry, should really start studying up on that. Alright, I don't want to make like another long video after this. I'll probably go again. We'll close this one out here and then get this paragraph finished up here in a second. We don't get very many views on this channel. The few we do tend to get removed from time to time. So folks, if you could, please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe. Please don't forget to get those comments. I do appreciate your time this afternoon, and as always, folks, we here at Spilling Tea absolutely do. Hope you have a good one. I'll see you all here in a few minutes. Bye-bye, everyone.